everyone, and welcome back to the World Explorer podcast. Is the podcast where me and my friend Isaac take a random prompt and create an entire world around it.
Monkeys. Monkeys. We're world building monkeys today. And these monkeys, they have markers. They have magic markers. And wherever they draw in this vast open void of a world, they can draw things in the world that just come to life. And like they just become real. They start drawing in the air, and suddenly there's just this floating island there. They want to draw a waterfall. Boom! They make it happen. There's a waterfall, and they created these fruit and veggies that these weird Frankenstein stitched together grapes crossed with bananas with strawberries.
So a purple. So maybe it's fruit smoothie.
Yeah, pretty much. Except it's all one fruit. It's one solid fruit, just
so is it like
together with a bunch of
is
different
it like
fruits.
is it like their flavors are combined, or like it's a banana with raspberries sticking out like boils and
Banana
strawberries?
with raspberries sticking out.
Yeah. Well, I mean, not to make it gross, but it sounds like it's like raspberries and strawberries like as boils to the poor banana.
Sounds disgusting, but I'm sure it's delicious.
I mean,
Anyway, so
yeah.
these monkeys, they are just creating things out of nowhere. How do they get around from all these different weird land masses that they keep creating? Well, the simple solution is by ladders. They have these ladders that they just place across so that they can get from point A to point B. That's their method of transportation. Also, the inhabitants of this world, they're being terrorized by the monkeys because the monkeys find it great fun to just make the lives of these humans walking about absolutely miserable. So, for example, they might just decide one day, we're going to draw some spikes onto these islands, and now everybody's walking on spikes.
So, did the monkeys create the humans, or were the humans before the monkeys got their magic crayons?
The monkeys gave birth to the humans.
Like they made them with the markers?
Wouldn't you like to know?
A little. I'm just curious which ideology you're following here.
Both.
Both?
Both. They birth the humans, and then they make the humans with the markers.
So they're like turning their children into humans with markers? And
no, their children are already humans. They're just lowly humans with no markers. And they're like, oh boy, that's an interesting thing that just popped out. Wonder if we can make more. And then they start drawing more.
Okay, but so they're just terrorizing their own creations and or children?
Yes.
That's some
Now you're
messed up
getting it.
parents.
They have monkey brains. Like, what'd you expect? Anyway.
Well,
so,
even monkeys on Earth have like good parental instincts and tribal methods of like, a village raising a child, and the mother's very attached to the child, and that the child hangs on them until they're ready to be on their own.
Yes, but you see, those monkeys do not have magic markers.
So the requirement
That's
for
the
magic
difference
markers
here.
is to be a bad parent.
Yeah, you get a magic marker, suddenly you're a bad parent. Anyway, so these monkeys, they're just drawing all sorts of nonsensical, dangerous things for these humans to avoid. And one of the things that they've got is lava whales. They got lava whales that spew iron. They have lava whales that spew iron, and the birds are made of mold. The birds that fly about, they try to fly into your face, and they are made of mold. Sometimes they get in your mouth.
And then
Oddly
you
enough,
die.
they taste like peanut butter for some reason.
But then you die. 'Cause
Yeah, and people have the strangest desire to eat this mold because it tastes like peanut butter and smells like roses.
okay, well, a lot of poisons smell nice. Doesn't mean you should eat them.
I didn't know that. What poisons might smell nice that you shouldn't eat?
I think there's some. I could I could look up a list. Could go to the
Okay, take
Google.
that whole list. Yeah, that's now the favorite beverage of the monkeys to feed to all the humans.
What is?
Just take the poison, feed it to the humans. That's their beverage now.
Yeah, there's poisons that smell sweet. That's what I thought. Like
Okay, yeah,
Byzantine, because
those
that's
are
why
what
it
the
kills
monkeys are feeding the
dogs.
humans now.
I'm now on a watch list, by the way. I just
Oh,
looked up poisons
and,
that smell sweet. I just realized what that sounds like.
and I wish you luck with the FBI agent that is currently listening to this podcast.
Well, at least now they know why I looked it up, and that it wasn't for a nefarious reason. Except maybe to murder these monkeys, but beyond that.
It's true. Anyway, so these monkeys, they've got, they're drawing all everything. The big vast void that they're in, they're making these big floating bubbles of mercury, liquid mercury. That's where the lava whales live. And they just swim around, and every once in a while they'll spew out iron through these balls of water, these balls of mercury that just float by the islands. Good luck surviving those.
Question. Question.
What?
Question.
Yes.
Is this molten
Yes.
iron or iron ore?
No, they're like iron spikes for the most part.
Okay.
Kind of like the spikes the monkeys are. The monkeys are very into spikes. They're like borderline goth.
Is that what you think when you think goth is Spike?
I think people with like eyeliner, black outfits, and spikes on their wrists and shoulders.
I guess it's accurate. Even Victorian goths had those spiky fences that were cast
Yeah.
out of iron.
Yeah, the monkeys are very, very goth.
So I guess rust is a big deal, because iron rusts.
Oh, I didn't think about that. Yeah, I guess they do rust, and better watch out for that.
Oh, why?
Yeah, so there's a danger.
Oh, just is there like a particular reason why the rust is dangerous?
I mean, it doesn't. Don't you have to worry about like tetanus and like
Well, yeah,
like
but
you get if you get like you get impaled by a rusty spike. That's much worse than getting impaled by a non-rusty spike.
yeah. I mean, and chances of death increase. That's true.
Yeah. So,
But like,
yeah,
I
you
doubt.
just added on to this world.
Well, I doubt.
I think
Okay,
you're
here's the
one who
thing.
combats these worlds.
Here's the thing. I highly doubt that the whales are shooting rusty spikes out because, like you said, they're made out of lava, which means that that rust would be burnt off. So, like, at least if you get impaled by one directly coming from the whales, you know you're not gonna get tetanus afterwards. You might not have a limb, or you might be missing a kidney, but you're not getting tetanus.
Over time, those spikes might rust, and then you got to worry about them at that point. And the place is just littered with them.
I mean, you can reuse. Melt it back down. Like, I know that makes it more. You lose some of it, but then, you can rework it. Or clean it.
True. Anyway, so every once in a while, about 2 o'clock on a Tuesday, the monkeys like to have a mustache party where they start taking their markers and they draw mustaches on the humans.
So,
And
like,
these
all
aren't just any
humans.
mustaches. These are really big, bushy mustaches that keep on growing and growing, and they look like if the Lorax and Rapunzel had a baby, and it just keeps going, and then it flows off the side of the mountain, and every once in a while the mustaches will get so heavy that it weighs them down and just pulls them off the islands and into the void, or into a waterfall where they proceed to get beaten around and then drowned.
I was about to say, they could just use that iron to make scissors, but I recently learned that iron can't be made into a sharp point. So, it's not sharp in that way.
Can't?
You can't make, like, a blade out of iron.
I didn't know that.
You can out of steel, which is an alloy of iron, but out of normal iron, you can't.
Well, too bad. These are not steel spikes. These are iron spikes. So poor guys are just going to get weighed off the edge. I mean, they could rip the mustaches from their face if they really wanted to, but it's going to keep growing.
Yeah, sounds grand. So
Uh,
does it end after a time? Or do they just pick
when the
up?
monkeys decide that it ends.
Okay, well, as long as eventually.
Yeah, it's just when the monkeys get bored with the mustaches. And then they move on to the next bit of monkey business,
Mm-hmm.
which is where they all just sort of sit around in the boardroom and then they plan their next nefarious scheme.
Are these monkeys, like, talking to each other? Like, have more communication than our monkeys?
They have more communication than the humans because the humans die before they can develop a language.
Fair enough.
So, their hoo-hoo-yahs are, far more, uh, they're far better at communicating than the humans are.
So, do the monkeys give birth to, like, other monkeys, too? Or is the monkey line doomed
No.
to end?
No. They give birth to humans and nothing else. Like, the monkeys are, um, borderline, like, somewhere around the realm of demigods that are
Okay.
just waltzing about, uh, just creating stuff out of nothing. I mean,
Alright.
I suppose they could create another monkey if they really wanted to, but why would they?
So do they have... So I guess they have eternal life.
Yes, until one of them dies.
What? So they don't have... Oh, like, they can be killed.
Yes.
You can impale them with one of the sticks.
Probably not.
No? They'll just...
A-
How do they get out of
anyways,
that?
so
No, 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 no. Tell me,
anyways,
tell
so
me. Tell me
the
how does the monkey
monkeys they
survive?
make
Isaac, no. I impale a monkey with one of the sticks, or I lead it or directly under one of these lava spewing, iron spewing whales, and they get impaled. What do they do?
they say ow and they move on with their day.
Like, what if
Anyway,
it's insta
so
death? Like, what if they get impaled in the brain? It crushes them straight through.
I mean, their brains aren't located in their heads. That's just silly. Anyway, so the monkeys, they like to go out for lunch every once in a while, and when they get the munchies, they say, "Oh, we gotta create something." For us to eat. What should we do? And then they might create something like a taco. But the tacos are boring. So instead, you know how if you turn a taco on its side, it looks almost like a mouth that could open and close? Well, that's what they do. They get these giant tacos that will run around eating stuff. And as the taco eats things, it gets bigger. And then the monkeys eat the taco. And so this taco's just roaming about the floor, flying about, munching anything in its path, just wreaking havoc, destroying stuff. And then once the monkeys are satisfied with its size, they eat it.
So I'm assuming they've made it so this taco mouth doesn't eat monkeys.
I mean, it can, but the monkeys will just eat it from the inside out.
What's stopping like the humans from doing that?
The humans will be eaten. Duh.
Yeah, but like what's stopping a human from eating it from the inside out?
Well, you see, when a human is eaten, it is now dead.
Yeah, but that's not an answer to my question.
Well, you
What?
see,
Why does the human
death
die and the monkey
makes
doesn't?
you incapable
Yeah,
of
but
doing
why is the human dead and the monkey not when they get eaten?
because the monkey is a monkey.
That's not an answer, and you know it.
It's a good enough answer for this world. The monkey is a monkey. The monkey don't die. The monkey survives. Anyway, so the monkey survives the whole, taco fiasco thingy mabopper, and so they of course want to make sure that they don't instantly kill all of the humans. I mean that would be awful. I mean
Well, they
they
can just
gotta
make
give
more.
these. They can, but they want to at least see these humans have some level of joy in their lives. You got to take them on an emotional roller coaster before you end their lives.
Oh gosh.
Okay, so they'll give them some games to play, like dodge the fireball and volley human. These great great games
Didn't
for
you
humans
didn't
to have fun with.
didn't you say the yeah, exactly. So your intention with these games was for humans to have fun so they could be on a roller coaster of emotions before they die, but you can't take them on a roller coaster of emotions before they die if the first stop is death.
I mean, they're not gonna die from volley human or dodge the fireball. Probably, they're gonna maybe possibly have fun with it. I mean, the monkeys certainly seem to enjoy it, and they're getting a thrill out of having the humans play these games. So I think it all works. It works.
Mm.
Yes.
I have nothing to add to that.
Okay. Anyway, so they like to play these sports like volley human and dodge the fireball, and quite regularly. This is how again roller coaster of emotions. These are their children. They want to. When you are raising your child, you will see your child cry. You will see your child laugh. You will see your child get incinerated. All of the standard parenting things with these monkeys, and so that's why they play these games with them. And another thing that they like to do is they just create more and more fun creatures. For example, ever hear of dragons?
Yes.
Well, these dragons like to sing. These dragons that they create, they like to sing. And when they sing, it sounds something like this. Yeah! And when they sing their lovely song, you can hear these banjos and bongos being played in the background. And when they sing, the entire world shakes. Every once in a while, the islands will start to crumble apart from just the vibrations of the sound. These islands are not very stable. And sometimes the ladders that they use to travel back and forth between the islands, those fall apart too. And then these dragons, once they're done with their singing, they're going to need to get a drink. And so, because, they're pretty parched. So the only source of liquid that they really have is the floating balls of mercury just going about. So
That's
they
a
go
lie. You told me there were waterfalls.
Oh yeah, there were waterfalls. That's right, there are waterfalls. But water extinguishes fire, and dragons are, prone to breathing fire. So dragons can't drink water. So they drink the mercury instead, and then they die.
So okay. So they're just created every now and then for some entertainment.
Yeah. I mean, you want to have some concerts. I mean, the humans got to be entertained too. Humans love music, so you get the singing dragons that go yeah as they destroy your home.
Well, honestly, if that's the only music you ever know, you might learn to enjoy it. It's not like they have any other introduction to music.
Got some bongos and banjos in the background, so that helps with the enjoyment.
Yeah,
it sounds something like this.
Yeah, good soundtrack for your life to be ruined. Not that I'm sure these humans were making houses and having items anyways. They're too busy being terrorized by their parents and/or creators.
Again, not always terrorized. Sometimes the monkeys will be nice to them.
Oh, how?
Volley human and dodge the fireball.
I don't think those count.
You gotta keep life interesting somehow.
Alright, next time I visit you, we're going to play volley fire. I'll play the monkey.
Fire? That was stupid sport. Where'd you get that idea?
Or whatever you called it.
Volley human and dodge the fireball.
Oh, I just combined them.
Those are real sports.
Alright, let's play dodge the fireball next time I see you. I'll play the monkey, you play the human.
I actually know how to make fireballs that you can hold in your hand. You see, it involves getting some lantern oil. You can do it with a few different oils, but like lamp oil.
Yeah, and then I'm gonna throw it at your face.
Yes, that actually happened to my brother. He can't grow a beard in the spot that he got hit anymore.
How big are these?
Yeah, it's fun.
So this is like a game you... Wait a second. Pause the podcast. This is a game you actually played?
Yes. We actually made fireballs.
And
And
threw them at your brother? Who did
well, I
that?
didn't throw them at him. My other brother threw it at my brother.
And your parents allowed this?
Define allowed.
Did your parents... Is this like the tooth fairy thing?
Uh, no. I mean, the tooth fairy thing was really just more. The tooth fairy thing was less violent and
Oh, well,
less
the stories
dangerous.
I heard, I disagree with that statement.
I mean, the stories of me setting traps with plastic balls swinging from the ceiling are less dangerous than my brothers throwing actual fire at each other.
I mean, I don't know. I've heard some things about the contraptions you come up with, and I'm just saying I don't think you should have got. I am surprised you ever got quarters, because if I was the tooth fairy, I would have just given
I
up.
got a whole dollar.
Dang, I was lucky to get a quarter.
I got golden dollars sometimes.
Wow. See. This is the thing about tooth fairies, kids, is that tooth fairies are regional. So some places are better to lose your teeth than others. We'll get back to the podcast after this, but when I was a kid, I would lose my teeth at my uncle's house because the tooth fairy there paid better than the tooth fairy at my own
Eh,
house by like a good
That's great.
75 cents.
That is wonderful.
It was. So I
There
would
was one
purpose.
time.
Yeah.
There was one time. My mom decided to sort of get me back for, all the traps that I kept on laying, and the fact that I would wrap the tooth in this incredibly tight package and
Why did she care about
thing.
actually
I had
getting the
various
tooth
ways
out?
of wrapping up the tooth. What?
Wait, did she keep the teeth?
No, I wrapped up
No,
the
exactly.
tooth.
So why did she care? I would have just thrown it away. No offense to my kids,
Well,
but I'm not keeping my
the
teeth.
wrapping for the tooth was sometimes stuff that you want to keep and
Oh my
reuse
gosh,
and not throw
Isaac.
away. So it started off fairly simple. Things like I got some building blocks, like those mega blocks that you would play with as a kid, and I built a box, and I took another box that they filled with tissues, forming balls of tissues, stuffed them all in there, and one of those balls of tissues had the tooth in it, and she had to find the tooth in one of those. And I think I might have also wrapped some of them in tape,
What?
just to make them harder to tear apart. She could have just dumped them all in the trash, but that would have ruined the fun for her little boy who's like 10.
You were an evil child.
I was a very evil child, but actually, I was actually the most well behaved out of all of my siblings.
Your poor mother.
Surprisingly, what?
Your poor mother.
Yeah. I mean, I was surprisingly the most well behaved, but part of that might have been due to the fact that I had arthritis and I just couldn't move.
Yeah, well, now if you guys are wondering why Isaac is capable of creating these weird worlds that torture me, you now know it's because he's had a lot of practice torturing his own mother.
Yes.
Continue with
But
the monkey world. Proceed.
okay. So anyway, in this monkey world, there's the Tooth Fairy,
Oh, of
and she will
course.
every once in a while. She will every once in a while descend from the heavens and cast spells on the monkeys for any bad behavior that they have been
Did you
performing.
just insert
And
your
so,
mother into this world to punish you? In like this weird psychological twist?
what? No,
you don't
I
want to
just
you don't want to analyze this? I think we should analyze this and go. Let's turn the tables. Let's dive into Isaac's brain and how his let's turn this into a therapy session.
Anyway, so the Tooth Fairy comes down and punishes the monkeys for their for their bad deeds, and if they she finds that they have been behaving poorly, she pelts them with golden dollars, just very, very violently. The monkeys all then scatter and they might hide, giving the humans at least somewhat of a break, but their lives do get a little boring in that time.
I
Unless the
mean,
snakes come out of the ground. That happens every once in a while. These snakes they have armadillo heads, by the way, and fangs like that.
I'm just imagining that, like the head of like the head of the armadillo is like the least interesting part of the armadillo. So that's very interesting. You pick that, and then like bodies of a snake, and then
And
fangs.
fangs like bats. Baseball bats, mind you, not the bird like
Well,
rat thing.
but those don't have fangs.
But you see, the fangs are like bats.
Oh, so like they're shaped like, but that's so they can't
Yes.
actually like puncture you. They can bruise you.
They more bruise you, yeah, and sometimes they might swing on the gums and just whack you like a baseball bat. It's quite painful.
Yeah, but it's not venomous.
No, it's not venomous, but it will break your bones.
Yeah, but you're not gonna die within an hour or 5 minutes or however long.
Nah, not unless you bleed to death because I hit you so hard. Also, the rattle on the end of the snake is like a baby rattle.
Are we talking like the classic one where it's circular and almost looks like a planet
Yes,
with the
except
okay?
this one has spikes on it because spikes, and it's like a mace.
Because you're in your gothic phase. Yes, I see.
Yes, we're in the gothic monkey realm.
Did you ever dress gothic as a kid, or was it just the Dark Vader sweater?
I mean, I never dressed like a goth.
I mean, you wear a lot of black.
I do wear a lot of black, but I never went goth. Like, my wardrobe has pretty much always been like black shirt, blue jeans, black sweater. That's it.
Okay. I never had a gothic phase either. I had like a. I mean, I still have a lot of jewelry and stuff that are like moons and stars and things, but. I always
Yeah,
wanted like a choker necklace, but not a spiky one. I
as
wanted a
we are
leather one.
talking, I'm currently wearing a black shirt with a black jacket. Hold on, I gotta check something. Okay, no, my socks are actually white. I usually wear. I have a lot of dark colored socks, a lot of black socks. No, these ones are actually white, and they have R2D2 on them.
See, I've now given up trying to follow your world. Instead, I'm using your world to analyze you as a child, like how your childhood was. I'm not gonna lie, I'm a little concerned.
I can see where you got concerned.
Oh, I've made all sorts of connections, but I'm not gonna make those on the podcast.
A part of me wants it to because I
No,
feel like
I don't want to. No, there's like
thing.
some things that should stay. We can talk about them after the pod. We can have a full therapy section once this podcast is over, if you like.
So tell me, Mr. Monkey, about your troubles. Like, what plagues you during the day?
The Tooth Fairy.
The Tooth Fairy, I see. Have you tried just simply not believing?
Well, it's a little hard when she comes down and pelts you with silver dollars every now and then.
Golden dollars!
Sorry. Golden dollars. Are those actually a thing? I know silver dollars
Yeah.
are.
Yeah, you can get golden dollars. I mean, they're not real gold, but
Oh, yeah, I do
they're-
have one. I have like one that has Sacagawea on it.
yeah, they are worth like just $1. I got a bunch of them, and then like an idiot, I spent them.
Why? Look,
Because I was 12.
the only one I got the Sacagawea one that was created the same year I was born. And it was like a gift from a boy who had a crush on me when I was like 5. And he gave it to me because he thought of me, and he was trying to like buy a kiss off of me, and I wouldn't give in, but he gave me the dollar anyways. So it's a cute memory. I found it actually because for one of my projects I was analyzing metal objects and I thought I'd lost this dollar, and I opened up my piggy bank that's metal that I was studying for my project, and it was in there, and I'm like, oh, all these memories came flooding back associated with this little Sacagawea dollar.
Sounds fun. Anyway, So there's these wrecking balls just attached to these massive cranes, and they're swinging about, and they are the first line of defense against the Tooth Fairy. Because usually when she shows up, she starts pelting you with golden dollars, and so these monkeys have created these the wrecking balls to fight off the Tooth Fairy and try to get away from her, distract her as they run and hide. Sometimes these wrecking balls, they might kill a few people. That's kind of
Like they
a normal
care.
thing in this world.
About to say, I doubt that they're batting an eye on that about that.
Anyway, the more people the wrecking balls kill, the angrier the Tooth Fairy's gonna get, and so the more dollars that you get is showered about everywhere.
Well, I'm assuming they don't use these as actual money. I mean, not that they would need money. They can make food and money and whatever they want. So, why don't they just make a Tooth Fairy killer with the marker?
Oh, I mean, the best they can do is wrecking balls. I mean, they are monkeys. They aren't very smart.
Okay. I mean, they made humans.
Yeah, by accident. They just sort of birthed them and then made more.
Okay. So they're good at, like, copying things.
Monkey brain. Like monkey see, monkey do.
Valid. Can't argue with that.
Yeah, they're pretty darn dumb. Like, as far as monkeys go, these are dumber than your average monkey. Monkeys can be smart, but these
they're
are
more
not the smart
artistic.
kind of monkeys.
They are more
What?
They're more artistic, though. You know, they're making lava whales that spew iron.
Yeah, they're much more artistic. Anyway, so the monkeys, when they go to evade the Tooth Fairy, they might sometimes build these walls around them and these shelters to help dodge the Tooth Fairy's laser eyes and the laser mouth, because it'll just melt down their homes and then burn their flesh to the ground.
The monkeys have
Use
homes?
them. What?
The monkeys have homes?
If they draw them, they do.
Okay. It's just, I don't know, I just imagine them more nomadic.
Yeah, it's whatever they draw appears. So they'll draw these walls and shelters around themselves, which are instantly destroyed by the Tooth Fairy's laser eyes and laser mouth. And then out of the blue, as she's doing that, Rudolph might show up with his laser nose and just start blasting everything to dust. And then fire starts raining down from the heavens in blue lightning bolts, and then the acid rain comes down along with it, melting everything in sight, and then the world starts spinning, everything starts screaming, mouths open up in the ground, and then the teeth rot.
And so ends the world.
Oh, until the monkeys pick up a marker and restart. Yeah.
It's just the endless cycle of pain, suffering, and death that represents
So
your
if you wanted
childhood.
to know how the monkeys could die? Tooth Fairy. She just doesn't kill them. She'd rather just, torture them her whole life.
Which is probably why the monkeys torture the humans, because, monkey see, monkey do.
Oh, that makes sense.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I can do full
didn't even
cycles.
think about that.
It's all,
It's a good place to end the world.
Yeah. I agree. I don't know how to feel about this trip. Normally, after them, I'm, amused. But, today I just feel concerned.
Yeah, I mean, it was inspired by, the mushrooms that I ate before recording this.
Oh, gosh. Were they wild mushrooms, or...?
Oh gosh, they were the mushrooms you find at the store. I just saw the mushrooms, and then, when you go to the store and you get the mushrooms, your immediate thought is always, complete destruction in the absolute most nonsensical way.
I mean, that's the reason why I never eat mushrooms, personally.
Oh, you've never tried eating mushrooms and then your mind just going
I
to
mean,
wherever it just went.
I tried mushrooms, but I think honestly, I think they're very dull tasting. They're too earthy for my taste.
I can ruin this whole thing and tell you I don't actually like mushrooms.
I mean, I don't either. I think they're very earthy, and I don't care for earthy flavor. It's the same reason I don't like coffee. So, yep.
Yeah, I don't like coffee either. I'm
It's
a
because they're
tea
earthy.
guy.
Yeah. I mean, I like some teas.
So yeah, that was probably one of the most violent worlds I've ever just spat
And
out
we made a
randomly.
world where there were living volcanoes.
That's true. That one was pretty violent too.
There was also disease. What was it like? Living volcanoes and horrible disease. It had a gruesome title.
Yeah, but those were less spat out randomly. I'm talking about like the ones that I made that were overly violent and nonsensical.
That's okay. Next week we'll come back and we'll make it make more sense. I have a cool idea for the whales, but I'm gonna save them for next week.
Oh, I forgot about those. I was so focused on Rudolph and the Tooth Fairy and
Yeah, I don't have any plans for them. We'll figure them out later. But I have plans for the whale, and I think that'll be a good starting point for next week. But that is all the time we have for today. I hope you enjoyed whatever the heck that was. Leave in the comments your ideas of what Isaac's childhood was like. You can be as crazy and weird as you like. I'm interested to hear. And keep in mind, this is only based off of how this podcast went. That's the only judgment you can use. I'm curious what you guys come up with. But
I promised I had a good childhood.
anyway, we'll see you guys next week. Goodbye.
Well, then again, I did not like Boy Scouts. I really did not like Boy Scouts.
Okay.